What's up, everybody? My name's HickMessiah, and welcome back to OutOfOre. Today, I got something different for you. This is going to be how I set up my basic processing plant. I'm going to go over the reasons why I have it set up in this order, what I end up with in the storage bins, and how much it costs to build it. I even counted up all the different parts used in this particular setup, so let's get into it. First of all, I'm on version 0.30.3706. So, depending on when you're watching this, the game may have updated and changed how some of this works. Probably added some new machines, so keep that in mind. First off, I like to have a large, open, flat area to work with so that nothing's floating or sunk into the dirt. This plant is sitting on a 34 by 34 pad. I have concrete, but you could use wood as well. For the input, we have the hopper, and attached to that is the power input. I just have the 1x unit because for a starter factory, there isn't really any need for anything larger. On the output side, we're going to go up 4 meters, and then we're going to have an 8 meter straight piece to make sure that there's space for the lower front side of the shaker screen. This is going to sort out all the coal, blasted, and crushed rock out of this end, and all the ores, dirt, and pay dirt out of this end. Now, for this version of the game, there is a major part of the building process that you need to keep in mind. Right now, you need to build with the flow of material. You can't build backwards. There's a bug where if you build in the opposite direction of the flow of material, then the parts don't always connect correctly, and the material will not flow into the next section. So, if you mess up or you don't like a section, you need to make sure you delete all the parts up to where you need to fix, and then rebuild it, flowing in the direction that the material is going. So with that said, we have another conveyor going up 4 meters and then a straight 8 meter into the coal screener. This could also be the first part after the hopper. That's up to you. So all the blasted and crushed rock that's left over will come out over here and into the next section, and the coal comes out on this end and is sent all the way over here. Now, I do have the pipes connected to the coal plant, but we'll check that out later. So back over to the blasted and crushed rock. We go up and turn to hit the input of the jaw crusher, and then that feeds into the cone crusher. The jaw crusher turns the blasted rock into crushed rock, passes through any existing crushed rock, and then into the cone crusher, which turns it all into gravel. Now, after this, I have a special section that you may not care to have, but I wanted to have it set up for this so I could get something different out of the basic plant than just the ores and the dirt. So I have the gravel going into a splitter, and then half is going to an asphalt plant and then into storage. I don't have the oil input, which would increase the yield of the asphalt plant, but that's where you would pipe that in if you wanted to. Off the other end of the splitter, we end up in the froth floater. This unit will turn the gravel into iron, copper, aluminum, silver, gold, and lithium ores. As a secondary output, down here, you get tailings. For the froth floater, you need to have water to get a good yield, but it's not required to get any ore out. So, let's check out the water setup now. The water pump is one of the newest machines added and will most likely change in some way. For now, you need to have it placed on grass or snow. This is difficult to line up with the parts of your plant, so this is where I actually built from this pipe splitter back to a spot where the pump snaps to the pipes and is showing green text that says it will work where it is placed. You need to look out for that to make sure that it's actually pumping water to your plant. Now, this pump is currently feeding unfiltered water. The froth floater does not like unfiltered water, so just to make things easy, I dropped the refinery right after the pump so the whole factory is getting clean water. So as a reminder for this patch, you need to demolish the pipes that you used to line up the pump and rebuild it from the pump to the factory. And after that's all connected up to the froth floater, we're getting the higher yield on that machine's output. The back of the froth floater has 2 outputs. This top one is the ores and the bottom one is tailings. Tailings are just like dirt, and I just sell that. Conveyor up and over to a sell point through a chute. You can just have the conveyors end over the sell point or another conveyor and it'll work fine, but I like the realism of using a chute. Now jumping back to the first machine, the shaker screen, on this end we had all the ores sorted out from the rock and coal. Coming out of this end, we're going to go right and then up to the input for the trommel. This machine sorts out the ores from the dirt and pay dirt, sending the ores forward, and the pay dirt and dirt out this end. Now for the dirt and pay dirt, we send this up and into a wash plant. This takes water as well, so to get the highest yield, pipe in some water, and this will turn pay dirt into gold, diamond, rubies, silicon ore, along with some dirt. Now, since we don't want the dirt, just the ores, we can put another trommel, and the ores will continue forward, and the dirt comes out here. I have that lifted up and dumped through a chute into the sell point. So, as I'm processing, all the dirt that I produce will get sold and be a passive income source. For the ores that are coming out of both trommels, we connect those together with a merger and then send those over here. We take the top output of the froth floater, merge those together as well, and now we have all the ores on one conveyor line, and that ends in this storage unit. Now, is this the only way to set up a factory? Obviously not. Is it the most efficient? Maybe not. But it works. It provides a baseline for future production. Now that we've seen the factory design, let's jump into some data. My factory's total costs add up to $587,000. This spreadsheet breaks down all the costs from the parts that I used. Two huge costs are the jaw and cone crushers at $45,000 and $55,000 respectively. That's just two machines, but it's part of the processing material, so you're going to need them eventually. The largest cost is going to be the conveyors at $260,000. Machines are $152,000, and the rest of the costs are the water system, power, and miscellaneous stuff. The total does not include the concrete pad. The cost to buy these concrete floors is just under $1.4 million, and if you were to buy the wood floors, surprisingly, it's even more expensive at $1.5 million. So, if you want to buy the floors, I'd advise getting the $1,200 concrete floors, and if you want to harvest wood and make your own flooring, then that'll save a ton of money. It'll just take time to harvest and craft it all. That's all I got for you today. I hope you found this helpful and interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think about my setup. If you have better order for processing machines, please drop that in the comments as well. I'll be looking to spend some time with the rest of the production machines and playing with how to organize and maximize both the profits and how to efficiently produce all of the current final products in the game. That's it for this one. Thank you all for hanging out, and if you had fun, give it a like, hit that sub button. Until next time, stay weird, and don't stop chasing happiness.